Hey guys, welcome back to Don't hit me. Sure, warm welcome. Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today I'm going to give a little tour of the sheep pen, show you guys kind of where everything is, and now I have it set up that way. This has been a frequently asked question of mine to kind of give a little bit of a tour of the sheep pen. So it's beautiful out today, and I thought, why not take advantage of it and show you guys the It wants to be the center of attention all the time. Let's give you guys a tour. So I'm going to give a tour of the girls' pen first. This is their pen. So this is the entryway to their pen. When you are making their pen, I really suggest putting in a gate that can fit a tractor in it. This is, I believe, a 10-foot gate. I'm pretty sure it's a 10-foot gate, if I remember correctly. But I really highly recommend putting in a 10-foot gate, just so then your tractor can get in here if need be. I always said, I was like, no, it's probably fine. It's probably fine. We don't need it. I'm very glad that we did, because it makes for really easy when we need to clean up the hay in front of their bunk feeders or bring in straw for their sheds. Definitely put in a 10-foot gate that you'll be able to fit a tractor or whatever else you might be using to get in the pens. That is definitely, I highly recommend that. Right to the right of their gate, their entryway to their pen, I've got their water tank. The reason I got it so close is so that we can run the extension cords and you don't need so much extension cords to get there. Because the waters freeze up in the winter time, we need to put in de-icers in every single tank. So I wanted it to be nice and close to the fence, so I wouldn't have to run a lot of extension cords. And then it's also nice and close for the hose to reach. The hose isn't going through their pen. Right next there, I've got their salt block, just a blue salt block, in addition to their mineral. They love that thing. They go crazy with it. So there's that. That's right as soon as you come in. These guys are really helping me. Right here, we've got their bunk feeder. This is also something I really highly recommend with sheep. I've used very many different types of hay feeders over the course of having sheep, and this is definitely what I recommend. This definitely cuts down on vegetable matter that comes up in their fleece. Of course, they still waste hay because they are sheep, and sheep do that, but it definitely cuts down on the amount quite significantly comparatively to if you were to put a whole round bale feeder in there or toss it over. I wanted something that wasn't going to be tossing hay over their fleeces, over their backs, because that causes VM. With this, I can just toss right in front of them, and it is not going over top of their backs, getting in their fleeces. The only stuff that will get in their wool is if the wind happens to blow it. Another thing I really like about this is we made it wide enough so that we could toss a whole bale in here, so there wasn't ever any needing to haul hay through a gate or over fencing or anything. It's just right off the bale, and I can just scoop right off the bale and toss right along here. Here's their bunk feeder. We've got their shelters right here. They're all facing south based off of the way that the snow blows in the wintertime. So they've got 3 shelters. They're all 8x8. Sheep do really well with just a plain 3-sided shed. They're very hardy, so they don't need a barn or anything. As long as they're 3-sided, they have somewhere to get out of the wind, and usually they tend to actually just stay outside. So although that they have a 3-sided shed, they tend to just not use them. They are there in case they want them, and their mineral needs to be filled. As you can see, they dumped it over, but right in the corner I've got a little slab that holds up their mineral. Their mineral needs to be under shelter. I can't talk, so that's what I got in there. They got the 3 sheds, which is lots of space for them all to fit. And over here, we don't have anything crazy. This is just area for them to roam. Big enough for them moms when they want a lamb and whatever. They tend to stay right up here by their shelters and hay feeder and water and all that stuff during the winter time. But come lambing, they like to explore a little bit more. This right here is a dog shed. I haven't got my dog yet. I was planning to get it LGD, but that hasn't happened yet. So I have the shed when I'm ready to get a dog. Maybe in the springtime, we'll see. Right here is the lambing shed. This has been the lambing shed since we've had sheep, but just recently, last year, we added in this gate and this kind of run-up chute. So come lambing time, usually this gate is closed, but I feed them grain in there, so it's usually open. But it works really good in lambing. Open this gate and you can bring up moms and babies and they go right up into the shed. But for feeding grain, my sheep are absolutely insane. So it works really well if I can close this gate, dump the grain in the troughs, and then open this gate so they don't attack me. So they're all going to follow me because I think I'm going to feed them grain. We sheared in here, so there's wool everywhere. So don't mind that. So you can see I've got their feeders set up here. This is also the pen I use for working sheep or shearing. So we keep this kind of sorting chute in here all the time. The panels can set up to that. It works good. My lambing shed is kind of a mess right now. The girls knocked over a whole bunch of gates during lambing this year. Come lambing, I'll give a little bit of a tour of my lambing shed. It has seven total stalls, so it's got like 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then we made it so it's got 1 at the back. I had used like 2 or 3 lambing every day, so it worked really good in case the ewes needed to be in there a little bit longer. When they come out of the lambing shed, they can hang out in this pen for a few days. I don't toss them right back in with the girls just because it's crazy in there. So you can see I've got my hay feeder in here. I usually keep 2 or 3 moms in here after they have been inside the lambing shed. They'll come out here for a few days and then I'll toss them back in their pen. They've got their hay feeder. I toss a water bucket there. Then they get to hang out in here. So now I'm going to show you the ram's pen, which is also Rowan's breeding pen for this fall. It's a little bit smaller than the girls' pen just because I only happen to have between 2 and 4 rams, so it doesn't need to be big. When you have rams though, I highly suggest having like all plank fence. We did have farm fence in the beginning, but that did not work good because the rams definitely like to push through fencing. Even if there isn't ewes on the other side of it, they like to rub on stuff. And that farm fence is really not strong enough for them, so they're just going to bust right through it. Definitely suggest plank fence, and then 2 when they're fighting, then they can back into plank fences and you don't really have to worry about it. I've only had 1 plank fence get broken by a ram. Usually they're pretty good. I was surprised he actually banged through it. Like, he snapped the board right in half, so they're crazy sometimes. So just like the ewes, we've got a big 10-foot gate coming in. And right to the side, they've got their bunk line feeder. It's a little bit different as there isn't like a pen for the bunk feeder, but the bale's right here and it can feed these guys and my lambs over there. We've got their shed. Their shed is a little bit smaller. It's 8 feet wide by 4 feet long. It's a little bit smaller. It's definitely a little bit tight for all these guys in their pen, but it's a big enough shed for just the 2 rams. They've got their mineral in there. Right behind, they've got their grain trough. And over here, they got their salt, which they knocked on the ground. And then their water tanker, which also is right against the fence, so I don't have to use too much extension cords with the de-icer in it. You can see they've got all plankton here. That is the ram pen. So now for a little lamb pen tour. This is my market lamb, ewe lamb pen. This is also where I toss the babies after they've been weaned. So they've got the big gate too. Right next to their gate, they've got their bunk feeder, which like I showed you before, is also beside the ram's feeder. And they've got the bale there, so it works really good. And we got their shed. Their shed is also the same size as the ram's shed. It's an 8 feet wide by 4 feet long. This is also a really good size for them. This used to be the goat pen, so this was the doe pen and the buck pen, but because I've got the lambs all together, I've opened up the gate. Then we also have this other shed. It's just made out of pallets, so I'm not sure what the width and length would be, but the lambs also have this shed. So they've got 2 sheds they can fit into, which is good. Lots of space for them all. And they just got their waters here. I don't have a water de-icer going in here for them, so I just haul buckets every day. You can see they need more water. These little black tubs work good because you can dump them over and smash out the ice and fill them back up because they don't get completely frozen to the rubber. That's the lamb's pen. The way we designed it is that all these pens come into this middle pen, as are the girls down there, which makes it easy if we need to bring them up all the way over there, which is where we load animals to take to the butcher or selling them. Also opens up to this pasture and this pasture right here. There's 2 pastures and also a pasture back there. Works really good that way. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing kind of a little sheep pen tour and seeing what all I've got in there. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.